Okay, Mr. Mayor, we are now live. Please go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. I would like to call this meeting to order. Welcome, everybody. Approval of the agenda. Is there any other add-ons to our agenda here today? Seeing none, the recommendation is that the agenda be approved as presented. Someone to move to put on the floor, please. Moved by Councillor Colburn, second by Deputy Mayor Carlton. Show of hands, all in favor? It's carried. Councillor Barfoot, you were just voting, were you? Yeah, okay. Minutes of the previous minutes. Okay, I have a recommendation here that the minutes of the Committee of Adjustment meeting held on April 20th, 2021 be adopted. If there's no discussion, someone to move to put on the floor, please. Moved by Councillor Colburn, second by Councillor Barfoot. Is there any discussion on the motion? See none, show of hands, all in favor? It's carried. New business, we're down to severance application B0321 for Ron and Patricia Davis. I'll call the meeting to order. This is a meeting of the Committee of Adjustments to consider the application for a consent for Ron Davey under Section 53 of the Planning Act regarding property legally described as Concession 4, Part Lot 14, Keppel. Could the Secretary Treasurer state if any request for deferral or withdrawal of the applicant has been received and how notice of this application was given? The Secretary Treasurer, go ahead.
Thank you, Chair. There have been no requests for deferral or withdrawal of the application. Notice of this consent hearing in accordance with Ontario Regulation 19796, made under the Planning Act, was given on March 12, 2021 by ordinary mail to all property owners within 60 meters or 120 meters, of the property which is subject to the application and to all the required agencies. Notice was also posted on the subject lands and the Township's website. If you wish to be notified of the decision of the Committee of Adjustment, you must make a written request to the Secretary Treasurer of the Committee. Only a person or public body that requests a notice of the decision of the Committee in respect to this proposed severance may submit an appeal.
Thank you, Jen. Could the planner give us an updated planning report regarding this file? Madam Planner, go ahead.
Sure. I'm just going to share, see if I can share my slides here. The slides coming up? Nope. Okay. Brittany, did you receive my email?
Jen, we can see it.
We can see it.
Oh, you can see it?
Yes, I can.
Sorry.
Used to. Can't now.
I'm not sure what's.
I can see it now, Jen.
Okay. So this application is from Ron Davey. And on this first slide here, the area that's outlined in yellow is the subject lands. And so what the application is to, so it's to take the area that's outlined in red and add it to the area that's outlined in green, or excuse me, yellow. So this is the lot here outlined in yellow that's owned by Patricia Davey. And what will be left over is this smaller, it's about 72 meters wide parcel. That will be the retained portion. So, so if we zoom in a little bit more, we'll see that the area that's retained, that's outlined in green, that's where currently they have a house and a detached accessory structure. So the fourth slide I want to present is just to show you that the bulk of the two properties are actually wetland, significant wetland, and that's the area in blue. The area in yellow shows all of the Grey Sauble Conservation Authority regulated area. So I'm not sure if you can see where my cursor is moving. The area where the current house is in the bottom corner of the Davie property that I showed you in the first slide. So because it's already developed, the Conservation Authority and all the agencies don't have any issue with doing what we call a lot addition. So taking the bulk of lots 14 and 15 and adding them together. So there's absolutely no development potential for those lots, but the Davies would like to build a new dwelling on the parcel, on the property in the areas outside of any hazard or regulated area. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen here. So effectively, the application that's before council or committee tonight is to sever off through a lot addition approximately 91 acres and add that onto lot 15. What will remain is about 3.78 acres, and that was the area in green that I showed you. So that area, the 3.78 acres, it's already developed. There's no potential on that. So the Conservation Authority did provide us with comments, as they are a service provider to us. The lands are largely wetland, hazard, and rural, and they support the application as there is no development proposed with any of the hazard features, heritage features, or their adjacent lands. So as presented in the planning report, the application meets provincial policy, the County of Grey official plan, and the intent of the Township of Georgian Bluffs zoning bylaw. For anyone who wasn't in attendance or was able to view the council meeting last week, the zoning amendment application for Ron Davie was considered, and it was supported by council. A bylaw will be brought forward to the June 2nd council meeting for council's consideration. So the application was circulated to various agencies, and the Township of Georgian Bluffs Operations Department noted an entrance permit would be required for any entrance on the parcel to the west. The Grey Sauble Conservation Authority noted no objections to the approval of the subject applications, noting ample space on the easterly parcel to accommodate future development outside of any hazard areas. The Grey County Planning and Development Department had no concerns with the application, provided that the consent is approved for lot addition purposes and the two larger parcels are merged together as described. So in the decision, should the committee support the application, that is effectively what is described there. There's a requirement for those lots to be merged. Within the decision, it specifically states it's for a lot addition only. That way, no new lot can be created. The Risk Management Office and the Historic Saugeen Métis have no objection, opposition, or comment on the application. And we did circulate this to all property owners within 120 meters, and that was in accordance with the circulation requirements for zoning amendments. Because it's a double application, we take the furthest distance to meet Planning Act requirements, and we didn't receive any written comments in response to the circulation of the applications. So just in conclusion, if there is no opposition or concerns raised at the meeting this evening, my recommendation is to approve the application.
Thank you, Madam Planner. No member of the public registered with the clerk to provide comments in support of or in opposition to applicant. Are there any points raised by the applicant, committee, public that anyone wishes to reply to? Does the committee have any comments? Seeing none, I'll call for motion. Motion on the decision. I have a recommendation here. It has been demonstrated that applicant B0321 for Ron Davies for land described as concession 4, part lot 14, Keppel, is consistent with the provincial policy statement 2020, the county gray official plan, recolor gray, and the intent of the Township of Georgian Bluffs zoning bylaw 2020, provided there are no concerns raised at the public meeting hearing on May 18th. It is recommended that applicant B0321 be approved with the following conditions. 1, that a reference plan be completed and a copy filed with the municipal clerk or exempt from the registry plan be received by the land registry office. 2, that the applicant is for a lot addition only and that the lands to be severed be merged under the same ownership as the budding lands, concession 4, part lot 15, concession 3, 242193, concession 3, and that section 3 or 5 of section 50 of the Planning Act apply to any subsequent conveyance. A copy of the registered deed to the budding lands, concession 4, part lot 15, concession 3, 242193, concession 3, shall be filed with the Township of Georgian Bluffs Committee of Adjustments. Note, section 5343 of the Planning Act requires that the transaction approved by this consent must be carried out within 2 years of the issuance of the certificate, stamping of the deed. 3, the applicant pay the applicable consent certificate fee at the time of certification of deeds. And 4, that a zoning bylaw amendment be enforced in effect. Someone to move to put the recommendation on the floor, please. Moved by Councillor Thompson, second by Councillor Pringle. Is there any discussion on the motion before us? Seeing none, a show of hands, all in favor? It is carried. I'll now call for adjournment of this public meeting. Moved by Councillor Thompson, second by Councillor Colburn. If we've no other business with this, all in favor? Show of hands, please. This public meeting is now adjourned. We've no other business here today. Our next consent agenda will be June 15th at 5 o'clock. Thanks, everybody. We're now adjourned.